Hello, Earth Science class. Today is August 31st. My name is Mr. Sheridan. We are going to talk about what we're going to do today and what we should have gotten done for the last couple of weeks. Let's start there because there are a shocking number of people who have not gotten their assignments turned in from the last couple weeks. And I don't know whether it's the fact that you think that these are formative assessments, so you don't have to turn them in, or whether it's just you're not getting them done, or whether you have internet issues, but I've heard from maybe a couple of people that have had that kind of a problem that just aren't getting their stuff done. But there are a bunch of you who have either not really tried or sort of kind of almost tried and then just gave up. So I'm gonna stop taking those kind of excuses from now on. If you have not reached out to me that you are having an issue with something like putting a slide deck together or adding a new slide to a slide deck and or creating a Flipgrid, I've dealt with too many students for the last week that have internet issues, that have just that have really struggled and have been able to figure it out because they've actually tried. So those excuses are gone now. So if I end up talking to your parents because you haven't gotten your stuff done, and then you tell them that, well, our internet isn't good enough, or I couldn't get Flipgrid to work on my iPad. Well, guess what? The time for you to figure that out is right now. If you haven't sent me an email telling me that your issue is something to do with your equipment or your internet, or the fact that you are petrified to share a video on Flipgrid, those are not things that you can just let go and it's going to be okay. I want to help you. Okay. I desperately want you to do well, but if you don't turn in assignments or you just ignore stuff and then you come to me on the day of a summative and say, I'm not going to turn in a Flipgrid because I don't want to do that. Well, if you didn't talk to me before that day, that's not really going to fly. So you've got to take some initiative here, okay? I've talked to other students who are really struggling with that aspect of like a Flipgrid kind of thing, where they don't want to be seen by their fellow students. If that's the case, there's some of you that I may push to do that because I think you're perfectly capable. Again, I know that school is a thing and there's people who judge, and we're just going to do the best we can to get around that because believe me, there's a whole bunch of folks that have their own issues, which is why they lash out at other people. So if we've got to work around that, we will. But here's the thing. I need you to be engaged in class. There are 65 of you. I can't hold all of your hands. You've got to help. There's a ton of you who have, talked about how you just want to be in college, or you want to fast forward through high school, whatever. This is what it's like in the real world. You actually have to reach out if you want help. So I need you to do that. I'm going to follow up with people who haven't gotten, assignments turned in at all. We're working on some of those folks, but I need you to go back through. First of all, on assignment number 1, and as we went through, there were 3 assignments out of the 6 that you needed to fill out a slide. You would be amazed at how many people did a ton of work and put together a very nice slide and did not put their name on it. That doesn't really work. There's no way that I can give you credit for that. I don't know who did it. So you need to go into PowerSchool today. If you don't know how to do that, send me an email and I will help you. You need to go into PowerSchool and you need to check your grades. I have graded all 6 assignments. The 6th assignment isn't actually due till today. So technically you could still do that. But I went through and put a missing note in that assignment too if you hadn't done it yet, because I can't do this all day, every day. I can't go in and check all these assignments over and over and over and over and over again. So here's the next thing that I need all of you to do. If you turn in an assignment late, if you miss something, you know what? No big deal. I would so much rather you turned it in than you just ghost me and not, speak of it again. So please turn those in. But when you do, just shoot me a quick email. It doesn't have to be anything, groundbreaking. Please just, hey, Mr. Sheridan, I turned in assignment number 003. I didn't have my name on it on the slide that I did already. Period, enter, done. click send. It's taken care of. I'll go back in. I'll give you credit in PowerSchool. Your parents are off your back. Your parents are off my back. Everybody's happy. So let's do that, okay? When you turn in an assignment late, make sure that you are sending me an email that lets me know. If you turn it in Google Classroom, and I recommend that you turn in every assignment in Google Classroom, because otherwise you get a notification that says you have a late assignment, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? That's not how I grade them, but you should turn them in. But you turning it in later there doesn't help me, okay? Because then I have to go in and actually go into the assignment and see that you actually did it. There were a shocking number of you who on Thursday's assignment, where all you had to do was watch the video on YouTube and write down the 4 countries that I had been to. Those of you who just guessed, yeah, I didn't give you credit for that, okay? You actually have to go in and watch the video, write down the correct answers, and then fill out that Google Doc and turn it in. And now, because it's late, you have to send me an email that says, hey, I corrected this, actually put the right answers in. Would you change my grade in PowerSchool? And then I will do that. But there are a number of you, I'm not going to name you, but I think you know who you are, who just went out and guessed and said, I'm going to write down 3 country names and hopefully that's right. That's not how that works, and I actually do check those. So I didn't give you credit for it because that's just laziness, and it's frustrating for me as your teacher. And I would imagine that your parents would be frustrated too. Let's move on to what we're going to do today. Okay, this week we are going to cover some graphing. Okay, so the first thing that I need you to do is today I want you to create 5 graphs. These are things that you find in your house. So go around and find things that you can find in your house to create a graph about. Whether that's the number of chairs that are certain colors, the drapes that are certain color, which color is this thing? Which types of silverware do you have? How many types of silverware do you have? There's a million different things that you can find that you can graph. And I want you to come up with 5 separate things. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do, and this is for the people in class, for those of you who are watching this after class, you'll have to go into Google Classroom and I will type in the instructions how I want you to actually turn this assignment in. For those of you who are in class, I'm going to put up a poll and you all can vote to see which way you want to turn this assignment in. Okay, we're going to play with a new application or a new website that allows you to put some input in. So here's the bottom line. What I want you to do is find 5 things that you can graph. So if you could say, writing utensils in the junk drawer, if it was my house. So you'd pull out every pen and pencil in there and you could create a bar graph that says, okay, I've got this many pens and this many pencils and this many markers and this many Sharpies and blah, 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 blah. I want you to create 5 different graphs. So if you have questions about that, if you're in class right now, you can ask them after I stop recording. If you're watching this later, then you are more than welcome to jump in and you can send me an email and I'm happy to answer any of your questions. But other than that, please watch this again, check Google Classroom, check your email, make sure that you are doing your daily attendance and your daily check-in every single day. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you all tomorrow.